Hi there, I'm Adam Bradford from Communicator. I'm pleased to be able to hand over to our technology partner, Fresh Relevance, for our next session. Tom Rickards, Account Director, is going to show you some of the beneficial ways you can personalize your emails at scale using some of the features Fresh Relevance provide. Over to you, Tom.
I'm going to be talking about creating personalized emails at scale. Now, just before I jump into the actual webinar content, I want to give just a really quick overview of who we are and what we do for those of you that don't already know. So Fresh Relevance, we're a comprehensive real-time personalization platform. We can be used to collect customer data, analyze it, and then personalize with it, full real-time personalization platform. We help digital marketers achieve their ultimate goal of boosting customer loyalty and revenue by creating an optimized journey across all the different channels and devices they might be using. So the platform gathers data wherever customers go, and it brings it all together in one place with existing data showing real-time behavior and insight combined with the power to actually then act on it. So some of our product features include cross-channel personalization, dynamic images, product recommendations, data capture, popovers, triggered emails, geo-targeting, social proof, the list goes on. But obviously, email personalization is the key thing that I'm here to talk to you about today. And here you can see some of our lovely clients as well. So we're mostly based in online e-commerce, a big chunk of our client base in the retail and travel sectors. But we do also have a fair few publishers, insurance providers, recruitment companies too. So yeah, obviously if that fits yourselves, then do please feel free to get in touch afterwards if you're not already using us. Um, so to start with, then, why are you actually here and listening to me today? I think to answer this, it's important to start with the reason that we actually exist in relation to the topic of the day, scaling your email personalization. So the average office worker has 651 unread emails in their inbox, apparently. Um, that's a lot of noise to cut through. So today's consumers expect a personalized one-to-one experience in a crowded digital landscape where your competitors are, a mere mouse click away. First name personalization in your marketing alone isn't going to cut it. Um, so yeah, keeping up with the savvy modern day consumer can be a struggle. With the bar for customer experience and service rising each year, marketers are facing new levels of expectation from their customers. So you can see here 70% of brands say that personalized emails deliver 6 times higher transaction rates, but still fail to actually use them. Which seems crazy when people know that but aren't doing it. And I think maybe a part of that is almost the fear of it takes too long to set up, or it's too complicated. Hopefully I can show you that that's not the case. So personally, I find that pictures are much better at telling a story. So the next 20 minutes will be really packed full of different visual examples. I've got a fair bit of content to get through, so hopefully I'm on time. And yeah, theory is great, but who's actually executing that theory well in the real world? I'm gonna to try and show you. So firstly, data capture should be a key part of your email marketing strategy. You can have the best emails in the world, but that's no good if you don't have anyone to actually send them to. And let's face it, during a recession, you can't afford to spend a large chunk of your budget on acquisition marketing. You need to have a strong base of prospects that you can inexpensively and effectively market to. And in order to actually reach these prospects, you need their email address. So that's why a smart acquisition strategy is really critical. Having well-timed popovers that you can customize quickly can reduce the website bounce rate, and it can incentivize customers to share their email address with you. So with their email address and technology to see what they're doing on your site, like Fresh Relevance, you can engage consumers much more effectively and efficiently. But you shouldn't adopt a one-size-fits-all popover approach. Brands can use their website visitors' behavioral and transactional data to trigger personalized communication to the right person in the right place at the right time with the right message. So just before I dive into some examples, here's how to make sure that your popovers are actually as engaging as possible. So firstly, timing. No one likes to be interrupted. A popover that seems to appear for no apparent reason could cause potential customers to leave your website. And that's very much where behavioral popovers come in. Next is context. So the best way to get the timing right is to serve popovers in response to browsers' behavior. Work out whether to use a popover and what content to include. You should consider the shopper's interests, their life cycle stage, the place in the buying journey, and then think about content. So don't let design be an afterthought. A great popover makes your brand look professional and trustworthy. And then to maximize engagement, include a really compelling call to action and clearly show the value that you're offering to. Don't put shoppers off by asking for too much information. Once you have their email address, you can then get to know them better and follow up with further information. It's that getting that email in the first step that's the crucial thing. And then finally, test. Ensure your popovers are doing a good job by continually testing and optimizing. So try out different timing, placement, and content to find out what works actually best for your customers. And yeah, with those thoughts in mind, let's look at some great examples of actual popover targeting. So Killstar are a clothing and lifestyle brand with, as they say themselves, a twist of darkness. And they've got this really eye-catching coffin-shaped popover. It might not be to everyone's taste, but it really stood out for me because I've not seen too many brands actually taking this level of imagery. And to be honest, I was a bit of a grunger in my youth, so it also appeals to me on a personal level. But it's definitely just a really kind of compelling, eye-catching example. Which, yeah, I think definitely kind of stands out and almost kind of compels you to join and be part of that gang, if you like. Feel Good Contacts, they do an awesome job of changing popovers based on their customer profile and their life cycle stage. So, for example, new customers are presented with a popover offering 10% off of their first purchase, whereas returning customers are maybe reminded of the offer that they haven't retrieved it. Or they're then shown a different offer to download the app to receive a different incentive if they order that way next time. So you can see here at the bottom left hand, when you click on that 10% off first order, the pop-up then expands out, but it's what we call a consistent sign-up form. So that is always there, as you carry on your shopping. If you decide to start with, I don't want that offer, unlike an intrusive style popover that jumps up in your face the second that you land there. If you dismiss that, you've lost that offer. This one you can call back at a point that's actually convenient for you. And also, ever the bargain hunters, students are encouraged to use the company's larger student discount too. So on the bottom left, you can see the popover has changed. So they're not seeing the 10% off now. They've got the relevant discount for students, as they've detected that the user has landed on the website from a .ac.uk email address, or it's come from a studentbeans.com domain. And then if that is not the case, when someone goes to the student-specific landing page, the offer is also displayed there. So these, combined with a really nice exit intent popover as well, actually led to over a 300% increase in signups for them. So yeah, definitely a good example of someone using data capture well. So I'm now going to talk about dynamic images based on context. So delight your customers with dynamic email content that's always up to date. With dynamic content, you can automatically generate compelling creative that is unique, relevant, and up to date, and the instant a shopper actually interacts with your marketing. So by adapting emails to each shopper's behavior, context, and preferences, you can personalize the entire experience. So firstly, location-based content. You can actually connect your clicks with bricks and encourage shoppers to visit the store closest to them by displaying things like store details, maps, opening hours. If the nearest store is too far away, you could set a rule to direct them to the website instead, for example, with different banners. Don't waste precious marketing real estate by displaying a product event or a job that's too actually far away from the customer, you can filter that content and recommendations based on the location and interests of the customer, or the location of products. The individual will only see products that are available near them and likely to meet their interest based on past purchases and browses. So Halfords in this example, they update the hero image based on if it's sunny or raining where you are when you open up the email. And the weather forecast there as well is actually based on the user's location, which is a really nice touch. And then quite similarly, I really love this Lloyds Pharmacy example. So they're using a countdown timer, which actually counts down to the click and collect next day pickup, the cutoff point. So that actually helps kind of create that bit of urgency to drive the conversion. They're using product recommendations in addition to social proof to actually show you, these are popular products. 5,000 people have bought them recently. 2,000 people have bought them. But my favorite bit in this is the leaf the bugs behind banner, which, to look at, you wouldn't really particularly think that there's much kind of targeting going on there. But it's actually defined by the weather and where you are, and what time of year it is as well. So they've got different versions for these set up. If it's springtime, then maybe there's more colds around in the winter. If it's hay fever season, there's different medication based upon what time of year it is and what the weather is like where you are. And they see really nice results off the back of it too. So it's a really good example. Wet and Wild use a piece of script to include dynamic delivery thresholds, and this encourages the shopper to buy additional items to qualify for free delivery, and therefore helps increase overall average order value too. So you might want to think about setting different thresholds for when this could be shown. For example, if it's £100 for free delivery and you've only got £5 of items in your baskets, then spend another £95 to qualify might not have the same effect. So always include a "you've qualified" banner for free delivery as well. So when someone's actually over that threshold, you're not showing them a zero value. And actually, delivery prices often come up as one of the main reasons that people abandon their carts. So this could be a really key one to bring some of those extra shoppers back. Now, Thorntons use a countdown timer to encourage customers to make their purchases before their half-price offer expires. Countdown timers are an effective tool to build excitement and urgency, especially for big events on the food calendar, such as Christmas obviously coming up. Thornton's dynamic countdown timer draws shoppers' attention to the offer, increasing urgency and decreasing click to purchase, as customers know that they have a limited amount of time for this. So then this example from Viovet shows category-based recommendation in the personal pick section of the template. So with our intuitive drag and drop user interface, you can also customize not only the messaging that the individual or a granular customer segment sees, but the type of content that they actually see in the first place too. So a different piece of dynamic content can be shown depending on a shopper's place in the buying journey, the life cycle stage, the preferences, location and weather I spoke about a moment ago, the time of day, or a combination of any or all of these. This one in particular is a great example as well with the personal picks. They're using the social proof for the recently bought. These are popular products, but they're combining that with the product ratings as well, which is through an integration that we've set up with their ratings provider, which again just kind of helps add in that sort of trust of the crowd to kind of help. These are good products and people like them, so I should probably buy them too. The sheep effect, if you like. And then, product recommendations themselves, offering them, product recommendations, it's a tactic as old as retail itself. But a key way to provide personalized and highly relevant messaging to your customers. So showing relevant product recommendations can actually improve conversions by 11.2% as well. Now, Timeouts are obviously known worldwide. They sell different time limited offers for nights out and fun things to do in 108 cities around the world. I don't know if anyone's been to their market. There's one in Lisbon and a couple of others around as well. But yeah, they're using our recommendations that render the customer opens. Render when the customer opens their email. So no one would actually be disappointed with an offer, if that's no longer available. And they're actually based on, firstly the area that recipient lives or is visiting, as well as what they've actually bought recently or engaged with recently. So if you've been looking at, theatre trips in London, then that's the offers that you're going to see, or likewise food and drink, meals out, nice restaurant offers instead. Then another really nice example of product recommendations, which is quite a recent one, was Vape Store. So it's a really nice newsletter where they're specifically promoting a particular brand, Ruthless, obviously you can see here. But the recommendations are actually specific to what flavor preference that the individual is most likely to prefer. Obviously, if it's to someone who hasn't yet got a flavor preference, then it will just kind of fall back to the crowdsourced. These are the most popular. Then the other nice thing is you can see the recommended kits for you as well. So that's a further recommendation block in addition to the main kind of content of the message, which really is just trying to achieve some kind of further upsells. These liquids aren't right for you. Maybe you need a kit instead, or maybe you want a kit to go with those liquids, and you're actually trying to upgrade the previous kit that you had. And yeah, this diamond store one, I really love this email. So higher price jewelry like theirs, it's not often a spontaneous purchase. Speaking to them, I know that obviously people, and from personal experience too, people spend a long time before they part with that sort of money. If it's something like an engagement ring, for example. So by implementing product recommendations within their browse abandon strategy, they actually guide customers to other products that they might like based on what they've already browsed. It's really simple, but it's really effective, and it's very appropriate with their company mission, which is luxury with confidence. And we've actually recently published a case study for these guys too. So with these particular product recommendations, they've seen an 11% sales uplift. And also some really impressive stats across triggers and web personalization and data capture too. So definitely have a look at that. And then, yeah, the sunglasses shop example is a nice one too. So they use recommended products. You can see these are the ones recommended for you. They've also got star ratings in there, I think, but it's quite small. But yeah, in addition to the recommendations themselves, they're showing the live Instagram feed within the emails too. So using user-generated content can see a 73% increase in click-through rates. So again, is well worth thinking about actually including in those campaigns of yours. And then the next area that I want to talk about is triggered emails. It's a really proven way to increase conversion rates and timely and relevant messages based on customer behavior. You can build a comprehensive strategy with these that spans the whole customer lifecycle, from re-engaging and reconverting website visitors to post-purchase too. And yeah, let's face it, most of you probably have them set up, but if you don't, then you're definitely missing out. On average, 57% of customers abandon carts, but for some sites that can actually be a whole lot higher. So it's really important that you benchmark your current email marketing, so these can then provide you with some really powerful performance indicators for what's an appropriate number for you. And obviously what you can do to try and pull back some of those, almost 60% of people. So Markwins beauty brands, they're one of the largest independent cosmetics companies in the USA. Their brands include Lorac and Black Radiance. You can see here Physicians Formula and a fair few others as well, I believe. And yeah, what I like about this cart abandonment email is that I received it firstly moments after abandoning a product on their website. Frequency is really important. You've got a very small window of opportunity to get a customer back to the website. So make sure that it's really important that, it is really important that you make the most of it. It's also really important to maximize click-through opportunities, and the buttons in this example are really prominent. So, help reduce that fat finger syndrome, which we've definitely all been caught out with. Accidentally clicking on something that you didn't mean to, you don't get frustrated. Simple things like that can make a really big difference as well. They're also using the dynamic delivery rule that I was talking about earlier too. And then another abandonment campaign I'd like to draw your attention to is by Zee Co. So for those that don't know them, they offer hundreds of different exquisite clothing brands via their shops and online. And a key thing to note here is the messaging around Black Friday. It's really important to keep triggered emails up to date with the most relevant and timely information. So once you've set up the cart abandonment emails, it's really simple to edit them. And for a lot of retailers, Black Friday is a huge event, obviously very fast approaching as well. So adapting your messaging to reflect this is a tip that you should all be taking into consideration if you aren't already doing so. Updating banners is a really simple thing that you can be doing as well. Whether it's adding a kind of black banner in here as they've done, or kind of Christmasing up your content as well, sticking in a Christmas tree or some snowflakes or whatever it might be. It's a subtle thing, but it does have a big impact. And then they also take their personalization to another level with their subject lines too. So they started off with just name personalization included in there. But then they did some testing on actually including the brands that people have been browsing or been carting within the subject lines themselves too. And the results from that were actually far greater. So maybe that's kind of a case of people have toned out of name personalization in subject lines, but actually this is the product that I'm interested in. I'm going to come back and buy that because you've sent me this well-timed reminder. That seemed to be more successful for them. So abandonment emails in general should be automatically personalized with details of the browsed or carted products to remind shoppers what they're looking at. And then to go a step further, you can personalize the banner image to match the brand or category of the abandoned products. And then this will obviously help you get the shopper's attention right away. So I really like how Pet Drugs Online use the name actually within the banner in their emails, which is in addition to displaying the dog, because I've been looking at dog food, or the cat if it's cat food, horse if it's horse food, whatever. They don't just do food as well. But yeah, the imagery combined with the name personalization really helps to make this one stand out, I think. And then here's a nice example from Flashpack. So Flashpack offer boutique group adventures for solo travelers in their 30s and 40s who really want to get under the skin of a place via local and unique experiences. So as you can see in this example here, the browse abandonment email offers a get inspired section in the template. Travel companies in general are in a unique position in that they have an abundance of data at their disposal. So using different data sources such as their destinations, the dates, the budget, the products browsed, it really helps empower companies such as Flashpack to build robust and highly relevant triggered emails to actually increase that sales uplift that you can see there. Customer reviews, really valuable to online retailers for a whole number of reasons. But firstly, reaching out for reviews allows you to keep in touch with your customers and potentially set up another purchase as they return back to the site. And then once you've collected the customer reviews, you can obviously add them in real time to your emails and your web pages. Ratings and reviews are a really powerful form of social proof, and they also really help boost your SEO on your website as well. And I think I mentioned previously, just kind of help add that kind of trust in your brand. So definitely taking the opportunity to follow up there is a really kind of key example of a purchase follow-up message. And then the final triggered email that I'd like to touch upon today is the price drop trigger. So price drop emails alert a customer when a product that they've browsed has actually dropped in price. It does what it says on the tin. But these emails not only recover sales, but they boost loyalty, and they provide customers with actually quite a helpful service as well. So price drop alerts inform shoppers of discounts to the products outside of a formal sale. Obviously that they've been looking at previously. A triggered email lets everyone who has shown interest in that product know that it's now got cheaper. So they work similar to other triggered emails in terms of results. We kind of typically say it should be similar to a kind of browse abandon type campaign. And for shoppers who've obviously opted into your email marketing, their browse data is captured and stored. So when something does drop a price in your e-commerce system, the alert's just triggered automatically. You don't need to do anything to set them up and send them out. And then obviously crucially, details of the item themselves browsed, including the images, are inserted into the email to make the offer more compelling. So you don't need to do any manual configuration. The emails are sent by the ESP, and that gives you full control of the creative element of the message. And yeah, Country Attire have a really nice example of this as well. I've done a few kind of tests around, do you want to include other recommendations within price drop campaigns as well? The jury's not quite out on that one from tests that I've done. So that's definitely one to think about for yourselves. Maybe start off with, this is just the product that has dropped in price, come back and buy it. And then include in a recommendation, as they've done here, to see if this now isn't something that you're interested in anymore, maybe this is, and they come back and buy that instead. I forgot about the animation on that one. So yeah, some takeaway action points for you here then. So utilize real-time data, provide relevant content. It's cliched, but data really is king. The more that you know about someone, the more that you can personalize that message to them to ultimately actually make the content that you're showing to someone relevant and engaging for them. And that then, of course, helps create a smoother experience overall, which then hopefully should lead to more sales. And then, yeah, finally, keep testing. The biggest mistake that people make is setting something up, leaving it running just as it is for ages. It could be that it's getting good results, but actually a little tweak here or there could actually further optimize things to generate far greater rewards too. And then, yeah, last thing from me just before I hand over, if you would like to download a copy of our latest shopping report, which is on what the new normal will look like for Black Friday and Christmas this year, then please do. And the link is there on your screens.
Thanks for that, Tom. That's been really insightful on how we can use some of the functionality with Fresh Relevance there. As ever, if you've got any questions after this session, please send us an email at accountmanagement@communicatorcore.com and your account manager will be in touch with you. Thanks again, and look forward to joining you for the other sessions later on.